Hello there, everyone, friends and newcomers alike, and neighbors, and you true bones. Welcome to the stream. How are you guys doing today? For those of you who are new here, which probably is nobody, my name is Douglas, and I'm gonna be doing some artwork today. And the idea for today is to work a little bit on some comic pages. So I thought about trying to do some warm-ups first. I like doing warm-ups. They're super fun. And also, welcome every single one of you. By the way, the song requests is on in case you guys want to request something, but I decided to throw in some Austin Wintory today, because if you have Austin Wintory in your life, you need nothing else. Maybe just Bob Ross. Bob Ross and Austin Wintory are the two guys who can make your mind have really powerful orgasms. But anyway, hello Nipter, welcome to the stream. Ring X, Bones, and Turtle Sheen. You are a newcomer. Hello and welcome. To what else is there? Orin, you're doing well, and Bones, you're a flippy-eared doggo. You're present. Glad to have you here so early in the morning. It's kinda... It's like the awesomest thing to wake up, start streaming, and there's already a Bones there. Then also Turtle Sheen. Welcome to the stream and to the pack probably. How are you doing today? As for warm up, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll warm up by doing a random Gavin, because why not? He's a good boy. And these new comic book pages will have lots of Gavins going on, lots of Bradleys and lots of Nathans. Such is the nature of drawing a comic. You draw the same character over and over and over. Since I don't have reference sheets for my characters, drawing them randomly as warm-ups is a good way of making sure I still have the hang of how to draw this character. But yeah, if you guys wanna request something different, feel free to. The command to use the song request is !SR for song request, and then the link to the song, either YouTube or Spotify works. So I'm not sure if there are bugs still. There used to be a bug that if somebody requested people requested a song on Spotify and then somebody else requested a song on YouTube, when it went from one to the other, it would bug crazily hard. And it would play both musics at the same time, and those are not very good remixes, mind you. But if it were up to me, I'd leave only Austin Wintory playing all day. You can't get enough of this man. And Turtle, you're good. It's the first time you haven't got up this early in a while, and you're quite happy. Oh, that's lovely. I can't say it's the first time I've ever get up this early in a while, because I've started getting up this early for some time now, and now it has become my routine. But yeah, waking up early does make you happy. When there is stuff to do, you wake up early. And you get to do all the things you couldn't do before. Also, those eyes looks extremely weird. And also, GGO Cat, thank you so very much for hosting the stream. And welcome. How are you doing today? This lovely Tuesday morning. Hopefully it is a lovely Tuesday morning. Wow, look at these eyes. They're so different from one another. Bones, positive vibes aplenty. You need to sleep at normal times more often. Oh yeah, it's having a good night of sleep. It's probably half of the whole feel good feelings we get. So it probably is something you should get doing more often. So yesterday I did a little, instead of sleeping at the normal time, being a good boy who sleeps in the at 10 in the evening, 10 or 11 in the evening, as I should, I went to sleep at 40 past midnight because I was working on comic stuff. And so today we would have more interesting stuff to do. And this might be a little, I forgot the word for this. I'm a little ambitious. But I'm gonna try and sketch 2 comic book pages today. Because, like it or not, the slowest, most difficult part of doing comic book is sketching pages. Once the sketch is done, holy shit, the thing flows awesomely all throughout. So it's the sketching that is the problem. And if I get 2 pages sketched instead of only 1, when it gets to flow, it'll flow so damn hard. But oh so damn hard. You guys are gonna be amazed at the productivity that I'll be putting out there. You'll surely get a trophy or some sort of award for goodest boy for all that productivity that's gonna happen. And also this Gavin here doesn't look super Gavinish. I don't know why. Maybe it's the... It's always the eyes when it comes to this sort of thing. And maybe the muzzle too. Let's push it down a little bit. And 2 pages, yes, Bones. I'm gonna try and do 2 pages. Hopefully I can. And thanks, Ari, for believing in me. I need all the belief I can get, all the moral support only you guys and girls can provide. I need all those and more to do this. And I also need some mad skills, and unfortunately they don't wake up at the same time I do the skills. So this sketch here is already looking all sorts of wrong already. Well, that's the thing I was worried about. Sometimes I simply cannot, for the life of me, sketch on the computer. I have to do it on paper until I get a feeling for how things work before going back to the computer, which is what I spent the last night doing. Unfortunately, it didn't translate it that well. Maybe these 2 quote-unquote week vacations from doing the comic have not been that good for me. I mean, it was nice to rest, but always I come back and I feel like I forgot how to do all this. It's just not super fun, truth be told. But anyway, what are your guys' plans for today? For this lovely Tuesday morning or evening, depending on where some of you guys might be. My plans for today are to do the comic. I'll make the sketches for the pages, and then after that I might go and have some lunch, and after lunch I might go to gym. After gym I might go to bed, because it's a rainy day today, and rainy days always make me lazy. Which is cool, because I think we're gonna have a lot of more raining days in the future. It's winter. Winter is coming for us. So we'll have lots of rainy days, and then chill days, and then stay at home sort of days all over the place, and it's gonna be awesome. Bones, you're a hashtag working doggo. And Ori, you need to sleep soon so you can be awake for work later. Oh, that does not sound like the best kind of schedule. But what do you work with? If you don't mind me asking. And if you gotta work on thesis, then raid some WoW dungeons. Have you been playing World of Warcraft for long? Because one thing I always thought was weird about these MMO RPG games, such as World of Warcraft and, well, every other game, is that after a while you do everything there is to do in the game. You do all the dungeons, you do all the things, and after that is done, you just go back to doing them again. Is that so? Norin, you work in finance. Finance sounds lovely. I felt like I knew of a pun I could do with finances, but it escaped me. I don't remember what was it. So this time you've been saved from the puns. But only this time. Next time I'll make sure to have a pun. Cause I really don't remember what it was, but I'm sure I knew a finances pun. I'm skipping my old age. I'm failing or what? However this thing goes. There we go. And bones, you need those loots. Gotta grind them. I don't know. That sounds as exciting as that sounds. That also sounds so so Skinner boxy. My problem with these kind of things is that after a while you realize what's going on. You realize you're in a gigantic spinning wheel, doing the same things over and over. And when I realize that, I feel like, hey, I'm doing the same thing over and over. Maybe there's better ways to spend my time than to do this. And after that realization comes, I cannot enjoy the game anymore. I become a grumpy old man who cannot enjoy games, grindy games, because of the grindiness. Oh, I really forgot how to draw. Look at this. Anyway, Anari, yep, making sure people get paid. And you love puns though. Yeah, I'll try and remember it, and if I do, I'll let you know which one it was. And Nipter, yeah, after a time it gets repetitive, still you get better gear, plus you can always PvP. And it's always more fun when you play with friends. Yeah, that's true. But I don't know, the prospect of playing with friends always gets ruined by the prospect of having to deal with online random people who may or may not hold your best interest at their hearts and try to make sure everybody's having fun, but rather than make sure that they are winning. So it ruins everybody's times. So when it comes to multiplayer games, I always like the multiplayer games that are more constrained as far as people go. There was this one online game that I really liked. I mean, not an online game, but multiplayer game that I really like. It was Dokapon Journey. It's not a game about having fun, really. It's a game about fucking your friends over so hard, but also so hard that they will walk funny for days. And I think it was on the Wii or the GameCube, one or the other. Possibly the Wii. But anyway, it was an awesome game, and it was not online, it was multiplayer, kind of like Mario Party. But it was fun. Maybe partially because the objective of the game was to fuck everyone else. So you knew that before going in, and knowing that beforehand helps you get in a mindset of you're not here to have a good time, or the good times we will have is because somebody else is going to have an awful time. Maybe. And board games in general, they are super fun. Depending on the board game you play, of course. It's been quite some time indeed since I last played a board game. In fact, I feel like the last board game I've played was Game of Thrones board game. back in 2015. And there you go. Ears. These are not good ears, but they are ears nonetheless. You guys should have seen it. I drew a Gavin on paper yesterday, and it looks so much better than this. So much better. In fact, let me find it and show you two guys. And also, alright, say you will look forward to it. I'm glad. At least my puns will have a use after all. Let me find it here. I have so many papers though. Maybe my part of my thing should be called Papers Please, because of how much I have to look over for papers. And also, Unedited, hey, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? Today we're doing some art and listening to some Austin Wintory, because that's the best thing ever. And there we go. I uploaded it. I'm gonna show it to you guys in an instant. As soon as I find it though. Bleh. Unedited, what are your plans for today? What do you plan on doing, or having, or making? And here it is. This is a photo I took of my thing. This is some drawings I made last night. Of course, these faces, they kinda got effed up a little bit because I drew them with a pen. This one I drew on pencil, and I think looks good-ish. This Gavin I drew on paper. Maybe because it's so simple, it's impossible to go bad when something is super simple. But anyway, let's make also a Wallace. What is a Wallace, you might ask yourselves? And I'll let you know that a Wallace is a new character that's gonna show up eventually. In the comic. But other than that, I'd rather not spoil too much of it. Just let you know that there is going to show up one Wallace, and it's gonna be awesome. Let's draw him as another warm-up, and then we'll get to doing the comics. Unedited, are making intros. Oh, that's lovely. I think there was a person I used to know that made intros, YouTube videos as well, intros and those overlays. They were pretty good at it, but I haven't talked to them in ages. I don't even have their contact information anymore, because we used to talk back when MSN used to be a thing, the MSN Messenger. Then something happened to it and it became Skype. And then something happened to Skype and we all went to Telegram or Discord. So in that little social kerfuffle, I lost his contact information. It's not super fun. And also, Jenia Chow, thank you so very much for following me on Twitch, and welcome to the pack. I hope you enjoy it here, with the awesome company of lovely good boys and girls. Somebody sketching the same? No, I'm not. How are you doing today? It is lovely Tuesday morning. Or at least it is a Tuesday morning for me. And as of late, like I was saying, I've been using Telegram and Discord only for conversing with people. But I don't know if there's a better alternative out there. That use back in the MSN Messenger days, there used to be a client you could use. I don't remember its name. It was something fancy with T in its name. It was Telion or Tyrion or something. And the idea was that it was a client where you could merge up so many messengers and access all of them through a single program, which was awesome in making things easier and simpler. But anyway, so what have you guys been doing lately? What fun, cool things you guys have been doing in the last few days, or months, or years? Nipter, Russia tried banning Telegram. Why is that? I mean, I feel like I have some ideas of why it might be, but I don't want to assume things, although theoretically I have already. And said that they tried and blocked a lot of IPs. So many sites stopped working. Oh no. Why is that? I feel like well, I might be completely wrong about this. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. But I feel like they might have done that because how Telegram allows you to be very it runs on a heavily encrypted service, so it's easy for you to exchange confidential messages and whatnot, and then simply delete them or pretend they never existed at all. And because the messages don't go to a central server, if you delete them in your device and the other person deletes them in their devices, theoretically these messages never existed. It's impossible to get them back, and that's a huge security problem for some governments. So I feel like some countries might have been trying to ban these. I think we faced something similar here, but with WhatsApp. They wanted decryption keys from Telegram to decrypt people's messages, but Telegram authorities didn't give them any. So Russia said that Telegram is used by terrorists and tried blocking it. Well, theoretically they are not wrong. There are people using these programs for bad purposes. And I like it or not, it is a very concerning question. because either they have to allow people to continue using Telegram, but on the risk of letting a lot of terrorists and other people use it and never be caught through it, or allow them to access some people's records through the guise of, hey, we're trying to fight terror, but then again, after the precedent has been set, they can, theoretically, there's no more security for everybody else, there's no more privacy. That's what I meant to say, not security, I meant privacy. So it's a very delicate matter. I feel like, I don't remember if it was our government here or if it was somewhere else, but I remember seeing this in the news, that a very similar thing happened. I think it was in the United States though. And if there is still, they have no right to block it. People have the right to speak privately, yeah? Yeah, they do. Problem is, if the thing is being used by, well, by criminals, and the owners of the application decide that they are not going to expose people's messages because of privacy, in a way one could argue that they are cooperating with criminals. So like I said, it's a very, very delicate matter. It's not something so easily discussed or worked around. And yeah, it is official. I forgot completely how to draw, how anatomy and the things work. Characters mostly. But anyway, Naori, you've been working on some art of your own in your free time. What things have you been doing as of late? Art-wise, and non-art-wise as well. Shadow Ray Wolf sounds like you came at an odd time. Not at all. I mean, there's never going to be a good time to join something other than the beginning or the end. If you join any time that isn't these 2 times, you will get slightly dislocated because you will not get the full length of the discussion. But anyway, it's never a bad time to be joining us, because there's never a whole lot going on here to begin with. So welcome. And how are you doing today? What is up with you and yours in this lovely, super chilly and actually very cold Tuesday morning? It is raining over here. It isn't super powering raining, but it is raining a little bit. So this is the character I wanted to draw, a Wallace. But for some gosh darn reason I cannot get the hang of drawing him precisely and correctly. I wonder what the hell is wrong with me here. Maybe this is still with the art block. Because I know how to draw this guy, but I can't for some reason. The proportions don't look right, everything looks wrong and weird and bad. Look at this. Looks awful. In the end, I end up relying more on my editing skills than my actually drawing skills to fix this. But anyway, Aring, you've been drawing a Pokemon for someone that's half of an art trade. By half, you mean you're a half? Or half of an art trade? And Shadow, you woke up and forgot to click in the text box, so that's a start. What do you mean? Click in the text box. But, wolf morning to you in any case. And Nipter, so you didn't really get it. Are you saying that... Wait, what? Are you saying they did the right thing by trying to ban Telegram? No, I'm not. What I didn't say anything conclusive. I only said that it's a delicate matter. And that it's a very big moral dilemma. Because if the developers of Telegram allow them to decrypt messages, it's bye-bye to everybody's privacy. But if they don't, the governments and the people can always say that they are collaborating with terrorists and crime in itself. So it's a matter of if people want privacy or if they value more their privacy, or if they value more the trust in the government to keep people safe. And that's why I think the governments are trying to ban Telegram and other services like that from being so widely used. What a time to be alive, though, when letters aren't the fastest means of communication anymore. Well, letters and the telegraph, it's encrypted messages through small mobile devices. These are the fastest means of communication nowadays, and they're so fast, but also fast that it's possible for a message to be relayed from person A to person B and then completely destroyed before anybody else can get to it. What a time to be alive. And Nari, you're half. Oh, that's lovely. What is the other... Well, if you don't mind me asking, because I'm a very, very curious dog, what is the other person drawing for their half of the art trade? It's been quite some time since I last did an art trade. I don't even remember what it was. I don't feel like it has been that long though. I feel like it was recent-ish. I still don't remember what it was. So this is the Wallace I've been talking about. He has a big old beard. That's him here. And Shadow Ray Wolf, it wasn't clicked into the text box, so when you tried to answer my question, you went all over the page. Oh no. That's not very good, but I do that more oftenly than I'd like to admit. I keep refreshing, reloading, and changing pages without seeing because of that. But in any case, welcome to the stream. I hope you're here to stay now. And Nipter, you say that it's not a big dilemma for you. You mean there are lots of other ways they can communicate besides Telegram can't give the keys and they themselves don't know them. And well, that's a simple way of viewing things. It's far more complex than that, I feel. But yeah, in the end, the officials, the people who are trying to get Telegram to be banned and whatnot, they have their own arguments. These might not be right arguments, but they have their own arguments, and that's what I mean. Be it right or be it wrong, they have their own arguments, and these arguments are that it supports criminals, pretty much. But if it is a but if it is the truth or if it isn't, who knows? Thing is, the developers, they have the choice of either collaborating but sacrificing everybody's privacy, or of keep operating as they have been until now and see what they can do to help without being too well, without breaking any sort of confidence to people. And O-Ring said they actually finished their half already, so you're lagging behind a bit. Oh no, that's the worst kind of art trades. And you're the one who's lagging behind. And they drew you one of your lizard characters, and I like how Alice looks. Oh, thank you. I've come up with his look way too long ago. He's a dog. He's a mutt, pretty much. He has no hair, only a gigantic beard. And very small ears. I never got around to deciding if they're gonna be floppy ears or if they're gonna be thin ears. But he has tiny ears, nonetheless. So, I thought about these very thin ears, kind of like the ears that I think Dobermans have. Dobermans or dingoes, I think. It's this sort of very thin and small ears. Although in here they kind of look slightly bad, but then again everything else does. Or I could make then this pointy ears but small and floppy, more so to please his bones. Has a bias for floppy ears. So this is Wallace. He's a big old good boy. He's gonna show up in the comics eventually. And by eventually I mean I don't know when, but he will. Or at least I hope he does. That's the plan, at least. Maybe I just need to fix his eyes though. His eyes looks a bit too droopy, too high on something. On some recreational chemicals. Something like this. Although not, now it looks too big. It kinda has to be this, but smaller. Maybe now, though, it is too small. Oh man, what's wrong with me today? Well, today and every day, truly. But anyway, there it goes. Say Wallace. Let me, before we get into the trying to work on the comic bit, let me show you guys how he looked in the other drawings I've done of him. Let me find some of them. And now you'll be looking forward to seeing him show up, but for now though, alas, you must retire to bed. You don't want to be late for work later. And neither should you. Work is, well, it's a thing we gotta do, and for us to be able to keep doing that, you need to be able to show up on time. To show people how reliable you are. So no worries. Where is this though? Huh. Let me see. I know I have him in here. There we go. Wallace, the underbite doggo. So these are some old sketches I had done of him. I don't know if you guys can see it. I have probably posted it somewhere already. This is not exclusive. But this is Wallace as I have done him before. I've been iterating on his look a little bit throughout the times, and now I will keep the big beard and the hat and the underbite, of course, but I think I'll also be changing some things, like the way, like the ears, they're gonna be tiny and floppy, instead of being these super perked dog ears he has here. But anyway, Ari, it's been wonderful. Hopefully you can catch more streams in the future. I hope you do. I stream at the same time, and I don't know if it's too late or too early for you, but still, was lovely to have you here with us today. And I hope to see you again in the future as well. So you're welcome back anytime. And speaking of any time, actually speaking of things that rhyme with any time, I hope you sleep super tight. And well, I'll be seeing you later. So this is Wallace, and he's gonna be showing up someday. Look at his greeny ways. He's such a greeny fellow, though. It's impossible not to like him. I wonder what is the problem here, though. Let me see. Huh. Who knows? In any case, let's get on with the next part of the whole thing. Let's save this sketch, of course. Warm up. Today is the 15th of the 5th month of the 2018th year in this calendar format we use of the Anno Domini. I don't know how you say that. Anyway, this is supposed to be the comic book page, and now I have a sketch, so let's import it into the thing. And wait for it to load, and there we go. Copy. Now paste into here and size it into the size of the page, and there you have it. It's a sketch, but it's not a sketch, it's a scan. Scan, not skna. Now I have some bases to draw this thing. Nitter, he's cute. Thank you. I'm glad you think so. Rain 780. He reminds me you of the Beast from Beauty and the Beast with the underbite. Oh yeah, he kinda does. I forgot that. And you love it. I'm glad you do. Thank you so very much, buddy. And Bones, you said that Wallace is Bay. He is though. He's the best boy there is. It's the best underbite doggo boy there is. And now with floppy ears. Because I've been peer pressured into flopping his ears. For level people would like it. So now again, let's try and draw a Gavin, although this time for the comic instead of being just for warm-ups. So this is the first part of the first page of this new comic. Call Me Yours, Part 1. Page number 1. Let's put that in here as well. It's Call Me Yours, Part 1, Page 1. Lovely. It starts with Nathan, Gavin, and Bradley in a room. Some heavy perspective shenanigans going on. Then Bradley doing a casual lean to the side in an inquisitive manner. Then Nathan being Nathan, And then here in the last frame panel, the two of them, of the Inquisitors, Kevin and Bradley, well, taking a little pity on Nathan, but still not relenting on their inquisitive ways. And as usual, there is little sketches of text I threw in, more so to have a sense of the overall thing they're gonna be saying in this panel. Which is a thing I like doing. Instead of writing the whole text, the whole speech, everything they're gonna be saying, I'm writing just a little excerpt. The quote-unquote flagship statement for that panel, because that is the sentence that is going to define the character's expression. Say that they speak, they have 3 speech bubbles, each of them carries a different message. The first says something like, "I'm glad you're home." The second says, "You had me fucking worried." And the third says, "But anyway, did you bring me something?" These are the 3 sentences a character is going to be saying in a single panel. But then again, all of them have different messages and different contexts and different emotions with which they are said. So, which one of them do you use to represent the character? Because a panel is going to capture your character in a single moment. So either he has his expression set to the first sentence he said, the "welcome back home," or the second, "you had me worried," or the third, "anyway, did you bring me anything?" Either you have the expression set to one of these moments, or you have the character be kind of with their mouths closed, so it could be in between any of these moments. So, of all these moments, which one do you use to draw? Which one of these do you represent in your page? Which one of them carries the most weight? So that's what I did. Instead of writing out the whole things, I decided to go and write only one single sentence, the flagship sentence that is going to rule out which expression the character will have. And for this panel here is haven't you ever had anyone like that? And it has this kind of pitiful, sad context. Hence why they have these low eyebrows and kind of sad eyes. And also, Rain70, thank you so very much for hosting me, for hosting the stream. I really appreciate it. Definitely going to help more good boys and good girls find this, and hopefully enjoy this as well. But anyway, now that we are done with that, this little explanation, what are your guys' plans for this year's October the 3rd? Well, October 30. The eve of Halloween. It's a little far away still, but no time like the present to think about it. What are you guys gonna be doing on that very unique and special day? That is months from now. At least 6 months from now. Actually, no, not 6, it's 5 months from now. Aha, I can't do math. But in any case, I ask because on October 30, it's my birthday. Hooray! And then I'll be 25, which is old as shit. And then I don't know what I'll be doing, but I'd like to know what you guys will be doing. Because I don't know if you guys are going to be doing super cool things on that day. I might go and copy your ideas and do the same thing as you guys are gonna be doing. Except some ideas might not work out very well because of geographical differences. Say if you guys are going out to go skiing or something, I probably cannot do that because of where I live and whatnot. And the weather differences, because if you say I'm gonna be home because it's gonna be raining like crazy, it might not be the same for me because, well, the seasons are different here from what they are there, so who knows. But in any case, last year I don't think I have celebrated my birthday. I think I only did the same thing as usual. Oh no, actually, speaking of which, I did celebrate. It just wasn't a big celebration. Well, at least it had cake, which is lovely. I went out to buy a cake for myself. Ended up finding a friend in the grocery store. We talked a little bit. He wished me a happy birthday, which was nice. Then I drove him home, and then I got back home to eat my cake, which I did. It was delicious. And there we go. I think this muzzle is alright now. And speaking of muzzles, Rain, you say you can draw muzzles when the character is facing forward. You have so much trouble. Make it look so easy. Well, thank you, first of all. I'm glad you think so. But drawing muzzles facing forward is extremely hard, even for me, because whenever I do it, sometimes I don't like the way it's looking, so I start to make little changes and these little changes end up making the face that was supposed to be looking straight forward tilting to the side. Like he's already pending more to this side than to this side. But there's a lot of adjustments to be done all throughout. But yeah, I don't even remember where I learned how to do this. It was probably from seeing some other artists out there doing it. By doing it, I mean I saw their finished pictures, and I started to try and figure out how to work backwards from that. I think the way I do muzzles nowadays is heavily influenced by this very well-known artist called Vetro Wolf. You guys know him, then you know who I'm talking about. He draw awesome faces and muzzles, and I feel like I learned how to do these from watching him, from seeing his work. Rain, you mean with my realistic style it must be really hard to get it the way I want? Your style is more cartoony with some slight realism here and there. Yeah, I feel like depending on which way you tend towards the cartoony, it can be much easier or much harder to do front-facing faces. I don't know that there are some cartoon styles out there, such as, what was it? I think it was The Simpsons or whatever, that it's like it's really impossible to draw characters forward-facing, because if you do, they look awful. But some other cartoon styles, they allowed for that. Some doesn't. So depending on which style you have, yeah, it must be much easier than trying to go for a full realistic style. Okay, I think this does it. Would you look at that? We are finally getting the hang of it. We're learning how to draw. Haha. In real time, it's working out. And EzoXMut, hello and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And what program do I use? I use Clip Studio Paint. I don't know which version. Probably the most recent, because they keep releasing freaking updates to this every single day. But it's also known as Manga Studio. It's known in some parts as Clip Studio, in some other parts as Manga Studio. Theoretically, it's a program for doing comic books. Or manga, whichever tickles your fancy. But it also works extremely well to doing illustrations just by themselves. And now with a most recent update, it also works awesomely to do animations. So whichever one of these you want to do, this is an awesome program to do it in. Besides, it's cheap as hell. It's 50 bucks. When it's not on sale. When it's on sale, it's even cheaper. I think on a sale you can buy this program for like 20 something bucks. And it's an amazing program. It's super lightweight. It's kinda lightweight as Psy, is Paint Tool Sign, in case any of you are familiar with it. However, it has almost as many functions as Photoshop has, except, you know, Photoshop has functions nobody will ever use, because it has functions that only graphics, no, not graphics, but what is the word I'm looking for? Only big publishing studios use because of color profiles and whatnot, because it can accurately convert from RGB to CMYK and print out things pretty well. It has also theoretically has 3D modeling capabilities. Of course, nobody knows that because it's fucking ridiculous. Nobody goes to Photoshop to 3D model and or sculpt things, but Photoshop can do that. Since Photoshop CS3, I think, which is like from 2012. It's really old, but it can do 3D shit, should you wish to do that. And yeah, Photoshop has a lot of functions, but because of that, it is extremely prone to be laggy and to crash on you, which I don't like, and because it happens to me quite often, so I end up using Clip Studio Paint. And Sai also has, well, for me it had a lot of problems, program bugs here and there, so I ended up switching from Sai, and now that I'm on Clip Studio, I freaking love it. It's amazing, and nothing else in my life will ever compare to it, I think. Until now, at least, nothing else has. Rain, you draw on a Samsung tablet, not even a drawing tablet, use Medibank Paint. I have heard a lot of friends who also do the same thing. They draw on a tablet device. I have heard a lot of them praising Medibank Paint because it has layers, it has brushes, it has a lot of things, and it's free. I like Autodesk Sketchbook because it's simple and straightforward enough. But Medibank sounds like an awesome program as well. I just never got to test it extensively, because if I'm gonna bother to draw on a mobile device, I mean, if I'm gonna bother to draw in an electronic device, might as well go straight up to a computer and do it. But if I'm gonna be drawing on the go, I'd much rather use paper and pen. In short, I'm really picky. Really picky. But I have heard great things about it, so maybe I should give it a try some of these days. Also, what the hell, Kevin? Why can't your face work normally? Why? And these are some symmetric changes that I'm doing. That so this corner and this corner of his face is at the same height on both sides. That's why I've been doing all this, mostly. And SOXMod, you use Psi and it seems good. I used to use Psi for like years and years and years. I used it for quite some time. In fact, I think the first 3 or 4 issues of the Golden Week comic I did on Psi exclusively. On Psi and Photoshop for the lettering, but still, mostly Psi. So I cannot deny Psi isn't a very great program. And the good thing about Psi is how straightforward it is. Like Clip Studio. Clip Studio has a lot of functions. And the more functions and tools and yada yadas you give to an artist, the easiest it is for them to lose track of what they want to do and get lost trying to find the fanciest toys they can get. But anyway, hey Grizz, hello and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? In this lovely, rainy and overcast Tuesday morning. How's your week going so far? And you're doing okay. You use Clip Studio. I think amongst a lot of things, a huge influence for me in getting Clip Studio was seeing other professional artists using Clip Studio as well. Because if an artist you know and adore and look up to, if they say, I use this, I do that, I have breakfast twice a day, then because you want to be like these people you look up to, you do the same thing and try to follow the same regime and routine they do. So some artists I really look up to, they said, hey, I use Clip Studio to do most of the shenanigans I do. And I said, holy shit, if they use Clip Studio and they're awesome, maybe if I use Clip Studio I'll also be awesome. And then I got it. Just so you guys don't get wondering who these artists are, it's one I always mention is Fiona Staples. She does the illustration for a comic called Saga. She uses Clip Studio, although she said that she only uses Clip Studio for sketching and that she uses Photoshop for coloring. Heck if I know what's up with that. But another artist that I think uses Clip Studio is Paulo Rivera, who did Hellboy and Spider-Man, I think. He did some cool shit over the years, and he has a nice style, and I think he uses Clip Studio. I'm kinda hoping he does. And there might have been someone else, but I forgot. Oh yeah, there's another one who uses Clip Studio. That's Niskane. A lot of you probably know him or them. I don't know. Over on Tumblr or Twitter, mostly probably Twitter. But I didn't get to know Niskane until last year or so, and by then I was already using Clip Studio extensively to do everything. But anyway, Grizz, you said, and you honestly are kind of confused at what you draw sometimes. And that's what hooked you. What do you mean? What do you mean, Grizz? I'm not entirely sure I get what you're saying. By the way, I said I'm gonna be trying to do 2 pages this week, and then the subsequently weeks after that, because I wanna see if I can go crazy bananas on this whole do art thing I do, and try to be as productive as I can for many a reason. Except that next week, I think, this new game I'm really looking forward to, some of you guys might know it, Detroit Become Human, is going to release. I'm gonna play that endlessly on the streams. So maybe I'm also doing a lot of artwork now to make up for the artwork I will not be doing when that game releases. Which is weird in a way too, because I think Detroit is the first game ever that I've pre-ordered, like the physical version of the game. In fact, the first even physical version of a game I buy ever. Thanks to Steam, buying physical discs has never been a thing to me. But anyway, and Grizz, saw many of your favorite artists use it and bought it to use yourself. Oh, that's awesome. And super cool as well, because I never saw a lot of artists out there big professional artists using or talking about Psy. I saw a lot of people on the internet using Psy, like really good professional artists, but I never heard of any of them, of any any artists working in the industry talking about Psy. Which in itself is weird, because I know a shitload of people use Psy. But anyway, but for Clip Studio, there are lots and lots of people, professionals of the industry that use it. And some that also say, use Photoshop, haha. But Photoshop is extremely expensive and extremely finicky to me. I don't like it. And Rain, he used to draw on the computer in junior high school. You would draw using the touchpad. Was fairly good at it, but now you haven't used in a long time and you've forgotten how to. The trackpad, the touchpad. I'm not entirely sure on what the touchpad. Is it like the mouse thing notebooks have? Or is that a trackpad and a touchpad is actually something else? Not entirely sure. And Grizz, you tried a version of Psy a friend showed you on Telegram. It kept malfunctioning. Yeah, I also had a Psy version that kept malfunctioning in a myriad of ways. I think I made the switch from Psy to Clip Studio specifically because I used Psy, but then when I switched to Windows 10, I think I will use Windows 7 or Windows 8. When I moved to Windows 10, actually no, the thing is Windows 7 or 8, I think 8. It also had that aero theme thing that Windows has that gets some things semi-transparent and whatnot. It kind of shows the background of Windows on borders and whatnot. It's a thing they introduced on Windows Vista. But anyway, Psy would malfunction with that. And the only way to use it okay was to turn off the aero theme on Windows, and up to until Windows 8 you could turn it off. In Windows 10 it has that, but you cannot turn it off at all for some reason. Because of that I cannot use Psy with Windows 10, so I had to remain on Windows 8 if I wanted to keep using Psy, which I did for a while, but then I said, okay, you know what, I'm gonna update to Windows 10. And then I did, but Psy stopped working, and then I said, okay, I guess I need to find a replacement. And that's when I ended up going to Clip Studio. Because even though a lot of artists I knew said, I use Clip Studio, it's awesome, I was so used to Psy, and I tried Clip Studio for a while, but I couldn't really get the hang of it. I couldn't really familiarize myself with it. So I was so attached to Psy that I couldn't make the change. It was only when Psy stopped working completely and it forced me to change that I was able to get into Clip Studio. But anyway, Rain, the part you put your finger on and it moves the mouse. And Turtle, a trackpad is the thing that laptops have. A touchpad is more like an iPad that is meant for drawing on. Not super sure I know what one of those are. I think I will have to look it up. Ryan, you used Fire Alpaca back then. I have heard of that program. And you always thought it was called a touchpad. You're bad. No worries. And also, hey Sam, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I think Fire Alpaca though is quite recent. It's not that old as far as illustration programs go. I really feel sorry for the people who make or are still making GIMP. Those of you who know what GIMP is, it's a free drawing illustration program out there, and it's open source and whatnot. But I don't think nobody uses GIMP professionally. So sleepy. But anyway, it must feel awful knowing that, hey, I've been making this free program for years and years and years, and nobody likes it, nobody loves it. What song is this playing? Oh, okay, it's playing the first song in a new Austin Wintory album called The Rendezvous. And then it's gonna play Tooth and Tail soundtrack. And it's going to play Absolver soundtrack. Then it's going to play The Formers soundtrack. And it's gonna play Captain Abu Reid. Then it's going to play Abzu and Banner Saga 2. Unless it's playing now by random order. No, it isn't. It's playing album by album. But it isn't bad. Austin Wintory, like I said, it's Bay and it's amazing. And Sam, you're doing alright. You passed history and sociology in the tests. Well, that's awesome. Congratulations, Sam. Grace says that GIMP sucks. No one uses it. And yeah. Indeed, nobody uses it professionally, and that's why I feel sorry for GIMP people, because for years and years and years they've been trying to make an open source drawing program. The only people that truly use GIMP is people who are not gonna keep using art programs for too long. Seems that the only people that uses GIMP is people who need an actually good art program to do one very specific thing in a series of many other things that they are doing that has very little to do with art. Something like, I wanna I'm making a music or whatever, and then, or I don't know, I'm making a game map for a game. It allows me to create maps and whatever. And then there's this whole tutorial on like, to create a game map you do this, this, this and that, and go on and on and on. And by the very, very, very end they say, but to make sure that this works, your file, this little information file needs to be a PNG with a transparent background. And then they say, okay, now go and download GIMP, just so you can save an image with a transparent background as a PNG. Because lo and behold, Microsoft Paint cannot do that. For some weird random reason, because it's not like Paint cannot process that. It's almost like Microsoft purposefully nerfed Paint to make sure nobody will use it. Unless they absolutely have no other choice. Which is kinda weird. But anyway. Agrees it's hard to digital art. And Bones! You showed up again. For a moment there I thought your work had swallowed you so hard that you vanished from the stream forever. But in any case, if you guys are wondering what we are doing right now we are drawing Bradley. Our big lovely bull dude. And Ponza did. Oh no. You need to be careful with your work, or it's gonna swallow you whole. Just not forever. Hashtag too tough doggo. Well, I'm glad it wasn't forever and that you're back. And I feel like I was gonna say something, but I forgot about it. Forgot what it was. Maybe something to do with digital art. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, we're doing right now Bradley, our bovine friend. Which always looks kinda half pissed, half bored. I think Bradley has a resting beach face. That's his problem. But in any case, I don't remember when, but I think a couple of days ago, or a couple plus 1 days ago, we've started watching a new TV show series thing called Lost in Space, which apparently is based off an older series of the same name from decades ago. But anyway, it's an awesome, lovely series. Does anybody else watches it? I still have not yet finished it, but I'm really liking it. It feels like those new Alien movies, except it's longer and it doesn't end with everybody dying, as far as I've seen. Actually, I forgot to change that. What a stupid doggo I am. How in the world am I getting people to follow me? I can't do this properly. There we go. Now the preview shows the comic. The preview was not showing the comic, and that's unacceptable. But anyway, I've been watching that. It's a nice fun show. Reminds me a lot of like I said, Aliens, but without everybody dying. The new Alien movies. And also Battlestar Galactica. I don't know if any of you have ever seen it, the new version. Reminds me a lot of that too. And I must say, like it as I might, I'm still super duper excited. Right now I'm mostly watching on TV shows as to fill in the void inside of me that is gonna stay there until they release the new season of Game of Thrones. Only when that comes out and we watch it, then and only truly then my life will be complete. Either they release the new seasons or George releases the last 2 books. Whichever comes first. Although, if he releases the books, you guys will probably not see me again so soon. because I'll be binge reading or listening to it for days and days, man. And Grizz, you've seen Battlestar Galactica only when your dad watches it. So you haven't watched that by yourself. Because it's a lovely show. Kinda weird at some points. But it's a lovely show nonetheless. And by weird I mean weird as in the writers definitely didn't know what else to do, so they did they did everything. But it was nice while it lasted. There we go. Now let's shall we pick Bradley and make him smaller because he's gigantic in this drawing. I was sketching him, but I guess I fucked up the size like royally. And because I was drawing with a pen, permanent pen marker, I couldn't erase it and correct it, so I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna leave it like this, and then when I'm doing the comic itself, then I can go and adjust it, edit it and post, pretty much. So that's what I'm gonna be doing now. Gonna go and select the whole of Bradley. Plus this little bit here that missed a little bit. The selections. Now I'm gonna reduce the size until Bradley and Gavin are roughly the same-ish size. Bradley, of course, he can be a little bigger. That's the idea in general. And there we go. No, it doesn't. Now it doesn't look like Egyptian art anymore, with giant people and small people in the same panel. Speaking of Egyptian art, it's kind of a gigantic loop, but there's this book on comic books by Scott McCloud. I forgot the name of the book, but I think it's something like Unveiling Comics or something. And Scott McCloud, he goes and talks extensively about comic books. What are comic books, why there are comic books, and comic books shenanigans, and yada yada yada. It's a lovely reading. Not that I ever read it. Truth to be told, I read passages of it. But it's amazing. You guys, if you're into comic books, you should read it. Either in the art of making comic books and the art of reading comic books. You should read it. It's a lovely reading. But anyway, one of the things Scott McCloud explains there is the concept of comic books. Because comic books are not entirely... there are a lot of things that compose as a comic book, and one of such things is the concept of sequential art. Sequential art is the fancy name for comics. Is art that only makes sense in the context, and the context is this art has a sequence at which it ought to be read and viewed in, and as a group you cannot see one single picture from a sequential art piece and gather all the information from it. You will miss something if you don't see it as a whole. That's sequential art. And he explains that one of the first ever sequential artists in the world were the Egyptians, because a lot of those Egyptian murals they depict, well, the story of Egypt and many Egypt things and events and persons and whatnot. And the Egyptians, they used to draw in their murals in the sequential art format. They used to draw here's this pharaoh dude, whatever, and yada yada yada. It's like this, that, and those, and then all that in drawings, and then in right next to it, the next part of the story would be another drawing of him, of the Egyptian dude doing Egyptian things in Egyptian times. And of course there would be inscriptions there, but instead of being a gigantic wall of text just explaining the history of Egypt only through drawings, I mean only through text, they have drawings in there. So they do explain the whole thing in a sequential art format. So theoretically, the Egyptians were so far ahead from their time. True for their time. The Egyptians were the first furries, apparently. They were also the first comic book artists in the world. Culturally wise, they beat us through a lot of things. They really knew what's up. What was up. Those ancient Egyptians. Makes you wonder what was going on at the time. But anyway, Grizz said when you watch me, you find it hard to do something similar to how to sketch and ink. What do you mean? What do you mean, Grizz? Because you said, when you watch me, you find it hard to do something similar to how I sketch and ink. You like how when I ink I don't draw back over the same sketch? I'm actually sketching. Really. I'm still sketching, I'm not inking already. Because truly let's raise this eye a little bit. Truly the sketch I did was on paper, so it was extremely small. I couldn't add a lot of details, so I only did a sketch to get a rough sense of where characters and elements and things go. So it's so rough that I can't derivate a lot from it other than the pose at most. I just add details that look different from the sketch. And yeah, on top of all that, as well, this is the second sketch. There's a lot of artists out there that do this, actually. They do the first sketch that is more of a laying out volumes and things. Then they do the second sketch when they start to shape details, but they're still not that close to the finished artwork. And then there is there are other artists who go a step further and do a third sketch that is super refined details before going for the actual inking. I only go as far as the second sketch because the size of my canvas is so ridiculously high that I can add a lot of detail. All I have to do is make my brush size smaller if I wanna throw in smaller details, but this is a level of detail that I'm comfortable with. But in any case, Grizz, I'm glad you like the way I do things. Speaking of which, speaking of how I do things, I've been pondering and wondering. When I posted on For Affinity the little advertisement for the Discord channel that we have going on, I said that I would be posting tutorials and whatnot, and so far it's been more than a month and I haven't posted any. And mostly because I've been pondering and thinking about it. How do I get to that? How do I post tutorials? Because at first I was thinking of doing my own, but then I realized I don't have time for that. To either post tutorials or give personalized hints on drawings and things. And then I thought about it, and if people do want to go and learn how to draw, there's a shitload of tutorials out there. There's lots of books, there are lots of YouTube channels and well, not only YouTube channels that have drawing lessons for free, but there's also paid channels that, well, not paid channels, but paid places where you can go and learn how to draw, like Schoolism, although they don't offer drawing. As far as I'm concerned, they offer more or less painting lessons. But anyway, there are places, lots of places people can go if they want to learn how to draw. So maybe there's very little else I can add on top of all that myriad of tutorials and information on how to draw. Besides, I don't have a very good method on doing that. So what I've been thinking of doing, instead of tutorials on how to draw, I thought about doing tutorials on how to do comics, because that's the thing. I don't find as many resources online as I'd like. I myself had to go and buy books on doing comics because there's very little resources available online. Well, not very little, but much fewer than there are compared to how to draw. That's the thing. I'm gonna go and do tutorials in the future, I'm gonna do tutorials on how to do comics. That's what I meant to say. And Grizz says it's easy, just post a link or make one and post a link there too. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna make a link. Actually, I'm gonna make a tutorial on comics, how to do comics. With more visuals and whatnot, and then posted it there. Not a tutorial on how to do comics per se, but a tutorial on how I approach the comic making ways. Also, I have no earthly idea what these musics are. All I know is that they're playing. It's still Austin Wintory, but it isn't any of the known game soundtracks anymore. Now it's some random album he did on his off time, it would seem. And Grizz, you think you feel like you're learning the hard way to draw? What is that? Because indeed, if you're learning how to draw, there are easy ways and there are hard ways to go about it. Although I feel like the quote-unquote easy ways are also the boring ways. But they're the most effective ways to draw. Wow, look at his eyes! Oh, well, let's move this here, ish. I think I have to move most, if not all, of the face a little bit to the right here. Oh wow, Discord keeps, I mean not Discord, but Twitch chat keeps crashing so damn frequently. I really don't like it. And the Grizz said that seeing so many tutorials have a few books to help on drawing that you don't look at much, but feeling like you haven't retained much from them. Huh. The whole thing about learning to draw is there's a lot of pretty much well, there's a lot of repetition, that's for sure. You get to see the tutorials, they said, do this, but then you do that only once and then you move to the next step, you're not gonna retain a lot. You have to do the same step over and over and over, like endlessly, and that's the boring part. Because you can either learn by doing the thing a billion times, or you can learn by doing all the things at once, but only a single time. Of course, to do that, it'll take a lot of time for you to improve. So the best way of learning how to draw is to go one thing at a time and keep at it until you truly memorize it. By memorize, I mean learn how it works and how it is. Like anatomy, for example. Instead of drawing 100 human bodies, try learning how to draw torsos first. So draw a bunch of them, then draw some heads, then draw some hands, and go at it, one at a time. You have to practice this concept. That's the boring thing about learning. Not only to draw, but learning anything. It's the repetition of the not fun parts, or the things that in the end by themselves are not interesting enough. Anyway. Also, hey Nano, hello to you too, and welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And Bones crying with the hands. Like it or not, hands are a thing as well that you can only learn by practicing endlessly. Like so much. But also dang much. In fact, let me tell you guys a little bit of a story time today. But before we do, hello, 104 underscore say 104. Hello and welcome to the stream. And Grease to say feet are also hard to draw. I'm not very sure how to draw feet as well. And Bones, let me tell you about your new comic, Pockets. Every character has pockets the hand lives in them. Oh man, that is actually an interesting comic book plot. Like everybody leaves with their hands in their pockets, and then suddenly a person decides to stick their hands out of their pockets. And everybody goes like, oh no, he did the unthinkable. Now the artist has to learn how to draw hands. And then he breaks the fourth wall and the artists go like, fuck. And they go on this whole journey to learn how to do hands. At the same time, they are trying to contain the crisis in the pocket village where everybody's just trying their best, their damnedest, to keep their hands inside their pockets. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit of story. 104 SA just stands for Sweden. Oh, that's awesome. I did not knew you abbreviate Sweden by SC. I thought it was SW. But anyway, the dramatic music for this story, it is real. It's because the story is too real. My story is the following. When I was learning, quote-unquote, how to draw, when I was beginning, I learned, quote-unquote, how to draw by making, back when I was in middle school, me and my friends, well, mostly me, I decided I want to do a little comic thing. Then I started doing a fan comic of Digimon, because at the time I was a huge Digimon buff. Back when I was 13, I think? 12, 13, 14, something like that. I was really into Digimon, so I decided, hey, I want to do a little comic, but Digimon themed and whatnot. And any of you who has ever watched Digimon in your life, you know how over the top they are when it comes to fancy evolution shenanigans. They're like, the human partner has to do some crazy Sailor Moon-esque transformation scene with their hands, where they do a little dance and do a little thing with their hands or whatever. To either slash the card, as was in Digimon 3 Tamers, or do a little thing with their Digivice in Digimon 4 and 5. But anyway, there was this intricate hand dance they did, and back when I was doing this fan comic, I decided, I want to do that cool stuff as well. So I would dedicate an entire page to making the characters I was drawing do this little intricate hand dance as well. And you cannot make a hand dance if you don't know how to draw hands. So I did that a lot. So imagine 3 to 5 pages of plot and then an entire page of doing intricate hand dances, and then 3 to 4 more pages of plot, then more hand dances. And that was when I was learning to draw. So in short, I did draw a lot of hands in my youth. And that's one of the reasons I feel nowadays I'm better at drawing hands than most people. Is because back then I would dedicate myself to drawing hands. So much, but also that much, that it became a thing, my thing, I think. And 104, when using 3-letter abbreviation, is SWE, but the top domain for Sweden is .se. Huh. I live and learn, I guess. I learned a new thing today. Digital champions and shenanigans is the best word, by the way. Changing to digital champions to save the digital world. Oh man, I did not grow up with the English opening. I grew up with the Portuguese opening. It was lovely, by the way. Really cool. And Grizz Tamers is the car, Frontiers and Data Savers is the old pose and handy positions. And this sounds like Naruto, all the hand dances. Yeah, indeed it does. Just imagine though, if instead of doing Digimon fan comics, instead I did Naruto fan comics and people doing intricate hand dances for doing jutsus and whatever. How much better at hands I wouldn't be today. Or how much worse, I don't know. But anyway, that's how I got better at drawing hands, was by drawing them a lot in my youth when I was doing those fan comics. Just as my friend, this friend I had, I still have though, this friend went to middle school with me, growing up back in 2006, 2007. The biggest thing ever was Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2, because they had just came out. And everybody was crazy over that. So this friend of mine, instead of going with the Digimon craze, as I did, he went off with the Need for Speed craze, and he started to draw cars like every single day. So his skill at drawing people is kinda under par. He's not very good at them, but his technique for drawing cars is crazy shenanigans. He's awesome at drawing cars. I cannot draw cars for shit, but he can make some awesome cars out of memory. He's awesome at them. But then again, only because he also spent his entire youth or something drawing drawing cars, while I spent my youth drawing hands. Although, in the end, he ended up landing an IT job because he went to IT college, and I ended up not doing college and doing comics for a living. So I guess I needed these expertise drawing hands and whatnot, and his expertise in drawing cars, well, guess it didn't find a use for that. Anyway, this pose here I'm drawing Bradley in right now, it's kind of like the pose I imagine the Iron Bull from the Dragon Age Inquisition makes every single waking second, which is the casual lean to the side, one hand leaning on his knee close to his face, and the other hand holding onto his other knee, I think. And 104 didn't realize it was a different opening. It isn't super different really, it's just they don't say digital champions of the digital world, they say something else. Okay, I'm back. And yeah, mostly the words were different because of the language differences. Because the words were different, the way it rhymes is different as well. I don't even remember how the opening goes. But anyway, I kinda wonder if they're gonna make a dubbed version of other animes. They're gonna Portuguese dub animes like, say, Persona or whatnot. Those would be awesome. But anyway, and 104 just draw Animal Crossing characters. Either they're just a slender arm or they're just an orb hand. Kinda like Mies. That works. I feel like that does. That does works very well. And digital sacrifice of the digital world. No, actually not. I don't remember how the opening go, unfortunately. Actually, I kinda do. But then again, I half remembered so poorly. I'm probably gonna botch it if I try to sing it or anything. So I'm not even gonna bother. But if you do want to go and see it, you can always go to YouTube and look for Digimon, and the Portuguese word for opening is abertura. Then you can search for that on YouTube and have some fun. Trying to see how that goes. But anyway. Mies, you miss Mitomo. Was Mitomo? I forgot. I don't think I ever got into that. Was it the little Raid the Castle game for the 3DS that you played using the Street Pass? Or was it something else? I don't remember. Angria's Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the champions, twice changing to digital champions to save the digital world. Oh yeah, now that you say, I kinda do remember. The opening actually did go like that. It was... yeah, it was that. Huh. How simple and straightforward. Anyway, Mitomo was Nintendo's first mobile app, like a messenger type. Like you had your own me and room and answered questions. Huh. That sounds lovely. Ish. From I had heard a podcast once about people talking about Splatoon and how awesome a multiplayer game it is, but how awful it is to be in a multiplayer game. Well, how awfully it does multiplayer things. Like you can, even though it's multiplayer, you cannot talk to your team at all. Communicate with them. Because Nintendo does not want the kids to be well, to become victims to the adults who may be playing the digital world of Splatoon 1 and 2. One of 4, so it was the opening you talked about. Yeah, it was. It actually is. I just had misremembered how it goes. Exactly that, but they just changed a couple of words here and there. But it's pretty much that, exactly that same opening. And be right back, getting some tea. Okay. Make sure to bring some E and some A's as well. That's the best way to make tea, is with the other vowels. And Grizz, you can in private games. How can you though? I don't know. This podcast I've seen is kinda old, so I'm not entirely sure if this information I have in mind are current or not. But yeah. Knowing how Nintendo is super protective of the kids and the children out there, and the lengths they are willing to go to make sure the nasty adults don't screw up the children playing Splatoon 1 and 2, I wonder if Mitomo wasn't the same thing. If there wasn't like gigantic limitations on how you can socialize and talk to people and do whatever. But in a way it's also interesting because I don't think Nintendo has ever before until then done any mobile things like for the iOS or the Android. Kinda to quote what who was his name? What Yahtzee from Zero Punctuation said. Somebody at Nintendo headquarters finally dared look out the window and see the direction the world is going nowadays. Because I think Assassin's Creed 4, was it? It released back in 2013. That's a lot of time ago. It already had like a companion app for the game, and that's not even the first game that did it. And it probably couldn't do much with it. It probably can only visualize a map of the collectibles and whatnot in this companion app. And that's back in 2013. Nintendo took years to finally get into the Android / iOS mobile scene. I wonder if Nintendo people kinda live under a rock or something. Or if they're too eccentric that they simply bat their eyes at modern technology and say, fuck that. That does not suit our needs. Our needs are special. And 104, back with your tea. I hope you brought Devours as well. You don't need only the T, you need the E and the A as well. That's the best way to have a tea, is with the vowels. Also, Bradley's hoodie is open, so let's add it a little bit. And you just saw my selfie versus furry picture on Twitter, and you are cute. Ah, thank you. I'm glad you think so. Sabertooth Devil, hello. Welcome to the stream. And Godfather Bull, kinda looks like it. But nay, I say. It's Bradley, being a Judge Jason. Over at this place they are in. And this is one of the worst moments to forget how anatomy works, because, well, this is one of such moments where I need to know how anatomy works in order to be able to draw anatomically correct clothing. Oh man. There we go. Took me a while, but I did draw that panel. Let's go to the next one. Also, yeah, I don't work from the first to the last. I work in a random order when it comes to panels in comics. I don't know why, it's just the way I do things. And 104, yeah, Devours is what gives it flavor. Oh, indeed it is. Also, what flavor of tea are you having today? It's been ages since I last drank tea, and that's because we have a lot of tea boxes in here. Can simply go and make tea whenever, but we haven't had tea in forever. I wonder why though. It's easier to make tea and coffee. Although I'm kinda traumatized as well, because the last tea I had in here that I drank was orange with honey, and it tasted awful. Especially cold. But then again, that's also because I drink tea without sugar, so most everything tastes awful. But anyway, Sabertooth Devil, you know it's him, you meant the pose. No, the pose is more like an Iron Bull from Dragon Age Inquisition, I think. And 104, it's just English breakfast tea. That's the most descriptive, non-descriptive flavor I have ever heard before in my life. I was like, what the heck is English breakfast? It could be anything. But then again, maybe that's the name they gave through something that is too complicated or too unsavory a name to be saying frequently and constantly. Like, it's daily roses and a little bit of grain wheat and cauliflower tea. So instead they just call it English breakfast tea or something. Saber Devil said no, not true. Yeah, there are some teas that are good, but most of the ones I have in here are not. Because one day I was in the grocery store, I saw tea and I said, let's go fancy, let's buy tea from a myriad of flavors, and not all of them ended up being good, honestly. Which saddens me deeply. 104, you honestly have no idea. The blend is just called that, bought in stores. Usually they taste pretty much the same. Well, and apparently it's something people agree upon that it's okay to drink. And if so, I guess it's okay. Oh man, these fingers are so long. Well, there we go, there we go, there we go. I wonder what music is this? I mean, this is Rendezvous, an album by Austin Wintory, but I wonder if it's for a game, it's for a movie, or it's music he made randomly. Like, I'm having a breakfast, a vacation kind of moment here. I don't have anything to compose for in a while, so I may do something just because I feel like doing it. And then he went and composed these songs. I don't know how composers a composer's work is or how it works. I'm just guessing. Now 104, according to Wikipedia, if it's on Wikipedia then you know it has to be true. There's no doubt it is the utmost true in the world is the things that are written upon Wikipedia. Digitally written upon Wikipedia. And you say it's the black, you say that Wikipedia say it's the black teas included in the blend vary, with Assam, Ceylon and Kenyan teas predominating, and Kimon sometimes included in more expensive blends. So I was right, it's actually a lot of unmentionable things. Feels like random words they say in those Lovecraftian horrors when people get possessed and they started speaking languages. Feels like that. Like Assam, Salem, and Kenyan, and come on. What even are those? But in any case, whatever they are in your tea. And apparently it's called English breakfast. I have never seen that in here. And here we have our common grass tea. By grass tea I mean several sort of plants and little herbs and whatnot. So I don't know what they are. I don't know if we have these blends flavors in here. Although I wonder if those names, Assam, Ceylon, Kenyan, and Kaman, are if they are the actual names for these plants and herbs and whatnot, or if they're like the Latin scientific name for the plants. Because I do know that in some tea boxes, when they list the ingredients, they don't say, it's this and that common name for this common plants. They always go with the scientific name. So I have no earthly idea what they're truly saying. It could be anything for all you care. At 104, first I went, this name is not very descriptive, and afterwards these are Lovecraftian words. Exactly. That's how I feel it is, truly. And honestly. Because let's be honest, calling something English breakfast and stopping at that. It's like, okay. English breakfast. Okay, what in the world is that? But when you truly learn what it is, it's like, I see what they call it, English breakfast. I don't even know. I can't, unless I'm looking at the words you typed in. I don't even remember what they are. I only remember come on. The others I don't even remember what they are. But anyway, now I'm curious to know what these are. If they are the scientific names to plants, if they are a common name for plants, if they are, or if they are even plants to begin with. They might be rocks for all I know. Imagine though, if they are making tea out of rocks, mushrooms, and the little things they found in the sink drain. They put this in hot water and say, now there you have English breakfast tea. And you're never satisfied. I'm inquisitive is what I am. But truly I am a little grumpy and hard to please in certain aspects. Kenyan teas would be made in Kenya, you assume. Is that the name of them? Kenyan teas? Well, I don't know. I think Kenya and England are kind of far away from one another. But then again, that's true. The English did colonize half the world a while ago, so they might as well have brought plants from all over the place. Just imagine what the British are gonna do in a few centuries. They're gonna be like, this is English space tea, because you guessed it, Great Britain went to space, plundered and pillaged alien planets, and brought back weird things from which we are making tea. It's a refined taste. Yeah, it seems Assam tea is also named after the region where it produced, Assam in India. And indeed, they decolonized a lot and had tea shipped to them. that seems... Well, that seems... First of all, it seems awfully awful, a thing to be done, but also seems so English, so English though, like so British. To go conquer a country half a world away, and they say, okay, what do you guys have that we can make tea with? Then ship it back home. Maybe that's why the British went on conquering the world back then. It's their incessant quest for new tea flavors. I think we cracked the code, you guys. That's what the British had in mind. That's why they colonized so much of the world. They wanted new tea flavors. Just imagine that. Now we can call ourselves anthropologists. We know the reasons behind the great massacres and colonization efforts. One of four, awfully awful is really a good description. It works. Greece said, or because they were power-hungry fools. And I mean, if you just found out there's a gigantic world out there with lots of potential tea flavors just waiting to be found, wouldn't you want to go and get them as well? Like, they're native indigenous people living in these lands, but they have exotic tea flavors for us. Could you only imagine all these new flavors of tea, like Assam and Kenyan teas, and come on, we have to go there and get all this tea for ourselves. One of four, you're not you when you're hungry for tea. That's gonna be their new the new Great Britain commercial for tea. Imagine that though. Now that I think about it, I have never ever in my life seen commercial for tea. Like a TV commercial saying, these new flavors of tea. Passion fruit, chamomile, canola seeds, and yada yada yada. We simply assume tea exists and it's there. We don't ever see commercial for that. How curious though. Although I have to concentrate a little bit here on these eyebrows, because the eyebrows complement the eyes, and the eyes are the windows to the soul. So I have to nail these and really make them good. And the way to make them good is to make this eyes looks really miserable. Maybe I have to open the upper eyelid a little bit further. Something like this. One of four, you are drawing so well. Thank you. Theoretically, it is my job. And theoretically, I'm expected to do good at it. So yeah, drawing good, drawing well is the least I should be doing. But in any case, thank you so very much for your kind words and your compliment. I really appreciate it. And Grease, you can't get an idea today. We just spent hours talking about tea. Maybe you can do something tea-ish themed. Haha, look. You can make a little... I don't know, draw a person or a furry person or whatever you tickles your fancy. Draw them having tea and having fun with it. And then some angry British people coming after your tea or something. Maybe that'll work. That's a nice idea, at least, I think. If not that, then there are other ideas you can try. There also bones the story of the pocket village where everybody has their hands in their pockets, so the artist doesn't have to draw hands. That's also an interesting idea to illustrate. Or at least a nice comic slash animation idea to think about. A lot, and I mean a lot of people, like a full crowd of hundreds or dozens of people, but every single person has their hands on their pockets. And that's the plot point of the whole story, is nobody can take their hands out of their pockets because the artist does not know how to draw hands, and then crazy shenanigans happen. I don't know, some revolution starts, or they start pondering and questioning the why they have hands, but they can never be seen by anything. And then some adventurous youngsters start a quest to free their hands. But to do that, they have to get in touch with the artist for the comic and get them to learn to draw hands. But they can't do that by using their hands, so they have to improvise. Grizz, you've been trying to draw Greg Universe. What is Greg Universe? I don't think I've ever heard of that. But nothing is coming out well. That's the same problem I had earlier today. I've been trying to... today and yesterday I've been trying to make some drawings, but I couldn't. I really could not grasp basic anatomy sketching that I could not grasp before. And then I did some warm-up sketches that helped a little bit, but then again I did the warm-up sketches in the computer to help me get better on the computer. But I think you're drawing on paper. If you're drawing on paper, then yeah, do try to make some more warm-up sketches. And if not warm-up sketches, then just general warm-ups. Try to draw some cubes, some boxes, some circles. that, as boring as that may sound, that helps. Believe me, it truly does help. And if even that doesn't help you, if you're drawing on computer or a drawing tablet or anything else, try to go and draw on paper. Really works best for this kind of things. Those are just some friendly advices, in case you're suffering with an artist block or something. And Marcus, hello there. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? It's been quite some time since I last seen you, or a week or something. I don't know anymore. Time is flying by and I'm not seeing it. Looking at me as you're driving, so you can't answer. Oh man, that's dangerous. But well, I didn't even know what to say. I want to say thank you, but I also want to say no, please pay attention to the road. So yeah, please drive safe. And other than that, thanks for being here as well. I'm glad to have you around. I hope you are still around later. One of four, the dad of Steven Universe. You don't watch the show yet. Is Greg actually the Steven's dad? Because I do remember there being a whole thing about Steven having a dad or something. But I don't know if it's actually Greg, the name of the guy, and if there are truly a series called Greg Universe or something. Because, as well, I also don't watch the show yet, for many reasons. However, I haven't heard nothing but praises about that show. That and another one, Gravity Falls, which I have not yet gotten to watch. So who knows, maybe someday in the future, in the far, far future of tomorrow, or next decade, I'll get around to watching them. What else? Bones, Extreme Driving with Doug, or XDD. It's our new... Well, Windows, why do you refuse to work when I need you to work? Would be so awesomely awesome if you could simply work sometimes. But no, you have other plans. I've learned that that's how you operate. You don't usually care for us mortal users. You have your own agenda. I don't even know what's wrong, I just know it doesn't work. Let's open this picture with this Clip Studio. Why, you may wonder? Because I wanted to see what clothing Nathan was wearing in the last comic book page. That's so I could use it here. And Chris, that show has taken many wacky turns. Oh no, not the wacky turns. Although, in a way, that's why I have heard that that show is a good one, because of the wacky turns. But then again, it's one of those many things that I'm quote unquote wanting to watch someday in the far distant future, but maybe I'll get to watch it, maybe I won't. Who knows? Thing is, I have heard nothing but praises about it, and you know, maybe I'll get to it. But anyway, now that let's also do some, while Marcus is doing some extreme driving, let's us do some extreme talking. So I've been drawing here for close to, wow, exactly 3 hours right now. Like, my timing couldn't be better. I have been drawing for 3 hours, more or less. And I'm gonna be drawing for 1 more hour. And I wanna know how you guys are doing today, this lovely Tuesday morning, afternoon, and or evening, depending on where in the world you are right now. So how are you guys doing? Are your expectancies for today have been up to par so far, or is the day not as you hoped it would be when you woke up, got out of bed and said, I hope today is good? Or are you the kind of people who just wake up and accept that the day has begun and get on to your daily schedule and chores and don't even stop to think about how the day is gonna be? Simply wake up and go and do the things you wanna do. And also, 104, thank you so much for following me on Twitch. It helps a lot and I really appreciate it. And besides, it makes me a very happy and grateful boy. Thank you so very much. And welcome to the pack. How does the arm work again? Let's just have his hand here. One of 4, you are warm and it's not helping. You have a dog in your lap, making it even warmer. Well, that's what summer will do to you, or spring, nearing summer. And you are welcome. It's nice to follow more LGBT and free peeps. That's awesome. But still, thank you so very much. It really helps. Which reminds me, I should be doing more celebrations when I reach certain milestones, because less than a month ago I had less than 300 followers on Twitch, and now I do have more than 300 followers. And well, it's this number that's slowly, very ridiculously slowly growing, but every new follower helps. And in a while will be a big enough channel to be able to justify more time spent here. But then again, it's all thanks to you guys and girls and non-gender binary people. It's thanks to all of you that we have gotten so far in so little time. So now, for Nathan's clothing, I'm thinking he's still using his shirt, except that now he's rolled up his sleeves. Because of reasons. And Marcus, be right back in 20 minutes. Sure thing. Please take care. And I'll be seeing you later. 104, also your eyes are so orangey. Yes, they are orange. That's the idea. To be as orange as possible. It's super duper lovely when we have orange people in here with us. I think so far the only people I know for sure are dedicated orange lovers. It's Fonzer, but Fonzer does not seem to be here as often as he used to be before. And I would guess that Bones is also into the orange craze. There was someone else, I don't remember who though. If you, this third orange crazed person, is there and screaming your heart out, waiting for me to remember you, I'm truly really sorry, but I don't. My memory is not what it used to be, especially because my memory was never my strongest point. Ever, so, yeah. Sorry. And now you want orange juice so much. Well, if you can, do go and get it. I would like some orange juice myself now too. Actually, I would drink orange juice every single day if it wasn't bad for you. I mean, orange juice is good for you, but if you go and drink orange juice every single day, in every single meal, in that big amount, you're probably gonna have some problems with excess vitamin C in your system, among other things. But again, maybe it's worth it. Because who can say they are not happy if they are having orange juice every single day? But anyway, Bones with the hashtag orange bias. What other hashtags have you used already today, Bones? Hashtag truth of Doggo, and I think you use another hashtag today as well. I'm having trouble keeping track of your hashtags. We need to organize a Bones hashtag document. Let's open a new Google Docs and collect all of your hashtags. We need to keep track of them. And now hashtag unknown. And 104, from what you know, you pee out excess vitamin C since it's water-based. Yeah. Theoretically you do. But if you drink it in such an excess that your body cannot pee it out as fast as you are intaking it, or something like of the sort, there are other side effects it can have. I just don't remember which. I do remember back in 4th grade in elementary school, 4th or 5th or 5th grade, there was this whole biology class. We had a little a book teaching us, or talking about not all, but the most common vitamins there were, and their main benefit and their side effects in case of overconsumption, or whatever you call it, overdose. I don't know. In case you have too much of that in your system, there were some side effects, and that book had it telling what they were. And speaking of which, now I'm kind of fondly nostalgic about elementary school textbooks. I remember back then, each time a new school year began, we were super excited to get our new books, and then we did, and we were like, oh, awesome. And I liked the most the pictures in the books, the diagrams and whatnot. Everything that was visual I liked. And as usual, if you were the third, each student had the book for a year, and if you were the third student to have the book, it was the book's 3rd year of use, and if that was you, you could get to keep the book, so you didn't have to return it at the end of the year. It was pretty cool that some cool books we had them back at home, some we didn't. I guess that by now they're full of mold, which is sad. But yeah, I had a lot of books, and I liked them, and I kinda missed them a little bit. And 104 hashtags plural for the win, or FTW. And you've never heard of overdosing on vitamin C, you probably need to have a kidney problem then. Though supplementary vitamin C can of course cause diarrhea due to this sweetening agent. Maybe, I don't know. There are problems, definitely. It's not something you can simply keep on having infinitely. There is a limit to how much you can have. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong about that as well. Because, as we will find out, I'm wrong about a lot of things. Most of them science things. Okay, and now I'm finally done with this panel. Now, time to draw the last panel, which is the first panel, incidentally and weirdly. Let's get to it. Ah, I'm back. I took a gigantic sip of water. And now that I have drunk, I forgot what is the past tense of drink. But anyway, now that I have consumed some water, Now that I have consumed some water, I am... Let me type it in. I'm hashtag hydrated doggo. And also, hey Oni, welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? And also, alas, unfortunately, for our sorrows, it is already noon, 10 past noon over here, and I'm only gonna to stream until 1 in the afternoon. So that probably means that I won't be able to finish doing this page in time, which is super duper sad. So those of you who has betted on me being able to do 2 comic book pages, or the sketch for the 2 comic book pages today, I'm really sorry, but whatever money you bet on that, you probably lost it. Sorry. However, if you're not a betting man or woman or non-gender binary person, then congratulations, you will not lose as much money. But some money still, because such is the way of life. And now I do some sketches. What I truly need is to have the sofa in place. Yep, shit. No. Well, let's just sketch the sofas first and foremost. They are the most important part of this page, after all. This panel. By sofas, I mean loose, blocky representations of what these seating devices actually would look like. And now that I think about it, seating device is probably my new favorite desk name for a couch. I'm gonna call all my friends and ask if they have seating devices at their homes. That's another new hashtag for our Google Docs document with hashtags. It's our new hashtag is seating device. But anyway, Bones with the thumbs up, and only good, just rather groggy. You bruised yourself last night, bashed your forehead on the wall when you turned. Oh no. When you turn as in literally you turned around to do whatever and banged your head against the wall, or that sentence has some continuation. It has a sequel or a prequel. It's a sequel prequel sentence. It's not over yet. Okay, now I have 2 seating devices, one opposite to each other. And in these seating devices, there are set 2 characters. Well, 3 characters truly. In one, Nathan, our tiger dude, our quote-unquote hero slash protagonist slash... some people call him a love interest. For sure, we can go with that. Okay, this might be completely and awfully skewed over, very inaccurate, but I think this is a quote-unquote good representation of some seating devices. Good enough for this page, I think. Let's try and go with this. Agree says to play video games. Why? When? How? Who? And one of 4 turning into a werewolf. Yeah, that might have been. And only in your sleep. Huh. That sounds an awful way to wake up, but I'm sorry that happened to you. But I hope you get better really soon, really fast. Bones, sitting devices. Yes, that's the new way we're gonna call couches. They're not couches, they are sitting devices. They are cushioned, stuffed sitting devices. And Marcus, hello, you're Bark. Welcome back home. And only it's like you sleep in the corner of the room, so 2 walls. Whoa. At the northern and eastern walls, you turn over roughly and you sleep and bam. Ouch. That sounds painful. I'm really sorry that happened to you, and I hope you get better. And one of 4 streaming devices, love. Yes, it's a new trend. Let's flood Twitter with hashtag seating device. Let's make it a theme, or not. But I would be much happy if this could become a thing. And also 104, thank you so very much for hosting me. It's really appreciated. And hopefully now more boys and girls get to see the magic of making art and drawing seating devices and perspective come to life. So much magic. So much realization. Hashtag dreams. It is a thing. And yeah, you guys are really going out with the hashtag sitting devices. And Bones, you almost typed shitting devices. That's not... Well... It's not the seating device we're talking about. There is a seating device that is also a shitting device. But that's not here nor there. I'm trying to stay slightly far away from the shitting devices for now. Mostly because we are illustrating a living room, and I don't think a lot of people have shitting devices in their living rooms. Or do they? I don't think I knew anybody who did. There might have been one or two or tens of thousands of people who did have shading devices in their living rooms. Especially if they lived alone and on their own, then. And we're not in the custom of having visitors often, because if that was so, then sure, they could have had a shading device in their living room and not have a worry in the world about it. Also, in case you're wondering what I'm doing a bounding box. What is a bounding box, you ask? And why? Of course, I'll answer you, my little inquisitive friend. Bounding box is pretty much a box I draw in perspective to have a little idea of how, of where this character can go and be inside this perspective. That's so I don't draw them overstepping boundaries. And helps me keep them grounded into this perspective. And since I'm drawing things in perspective, whenever you add perspectives to the mix, things get super crazy, really fast, really fast. So it's really important to be careful, like ridiculously careful. When you draw characters in perspective in a scene, it can get out of control really fast. Let's hide the scan. And Bone says it cannot be anymore. 104 says if you gotta go, you gotta go. It could be the new trend, cheating in the comfort of your living room. What else? What? 104, are you trapping the poor furry in a box? No. I'm doing a bounding box. It's different from a trap box. Different as in a bounding box only helps me use the power of imagination or lack thereof to tell my really sick brain, hey, these are the points at which you can't draw this character anymore, because if you draw a character past this point, they will not make sense in this perspective that you, and only you, and solely you, insisted on drawing. So this bounding box is pretty much your fault, so I have to deal with it and find a peaceful solution to that. But then I turn to myself and say, hey, but couldn't I go and freehand this? I know I have a good enough knowledge of anatomy and perspectives to try and freehand this. And then I turn to myself and say, well, sure, Mr. Awesome, if you think you can do it without a bounding box, sure, be my guest, do your worst. I'm sure you can do it very well. But in case you fail spectacularly, as you are bound to do because you're not as good as you might think, then you will see how having had a bounding box would have been a good thing. And then I say to myself, well then, sure you know what's up. If you truly do insist that hard and that much in me having a bounding box, I might as well go and oblige and do it. And then I say to myself, oh, I'm glad you're hearing me. and have a little bit of respect for my suggestions that are bound to make your life easier on yourself. But truly, bounding boxes are shitty and are really crazy hard and not. Oh, they don't work all the time. That's why they're so fickle. Okay, now let's hide the perspective of the. Let's summon back in the scan. Let's reduce the visibility of the scan to something like 10. And increase the visibility of the bounding boxes to a little bit more. And let's start sketching out this character. Haha. And then to overstep your boundaries, kid, says 1 of 4. And only Nathan is a bad boy and deserves to be in a box. And Nathan has no respect for the rules. Think outside the box, says 1 of 4. And only says, but the outside world is poopy. You like the box, this box is your friend. And a box full of imagination. Well. You see, ladies and gentlemen, kids and adults, the box might feel like it's all those things and even more, or even less, but truly the box is only in your minds. The box is an imaginary box, it doesn't truly exist. The box is just a convention, an invention we made to trap ourselves. We don't need the box. We can free ourselves of the box and go back to thinking by ourselves. Take the red pill. Go deeper into the rabbit hole. Or take the blue pill and wake up inside the box. Yeah, sure. As soon as this stream is done, the first thing I'm gonna do is go and Google what in the world is the soundtrack for On and or Off. Because I mean, it's good music, but I cannot, for the life of me, imagine a composer being like, you know what? I'm gonna compose an entire album just for kicks. It's not an actual composition not an actual score for a movie, a new game, a new anything. It's just because I was bored and felt like doing something different with my life. I cannot imagine that they decided to do that just because they need to have an ulterior motive. And I feel like this ulterior motive well, I don't even know what it was or what it could have been. But I would like to know. So I will go out and look for it. Noni says hashtag mindblowndoggo. And Gray says, which pill do you need to take to stay in Wonderland? Just stay in Wonderland. Huh. No, that's the thing though. The red pill was the pill that takes you out of the matrix, and the blue pill was the pill that kept you in the matrix. And 104 asks, what is the song? This song is, let me find it, it's Anthem of the Common Folk by Darren Korb and Austin Wintory. Darren Korb, in case you guys don't know, is the guy, I think, the guy who composed the soundtrack for Pyre, Bastion, and Transistor. And Austin Wintory is the guy who composed the soundtrack for... well, lots of games, amongst them Banner Saga and Journey. And this is the soundtrack for Tooth and Tail. This is the last song as it happens. The next few songs are the soundtrack for Absolver, a game I got to play but never finished because it's incredibly hard. But yeah, if you wanna hear more of this, go to Spotify or your local music provider and look out for Austin Wintory. And hopefully you'll find more of these songs and more, and you'll get to realize how awesome and glorious Austin Wintory is when you give him power over your musical composition. So this is a shoulder, this is another shoulder. And they go down, droopy and sad, then they go forward into hands. What do you mean, Doug? Do you mean that shoulders become hands? Yeah, sure, why not? Shoulders will become hands. Such is the way of anatomy. That's why so many artists refuse to learn it. And now this is the soundtrack for Absolver, I think. That Dark Souls game that is pretty much well, the fighting game that is Dark Souls. That's what I meant to say. It's Dark Souls but with fighting and combos, and it's super crazy, wacky, weird. Maybe I should go back and play it, because it's kinda lovely. Ish. It's weird as well. Makes very little sense. But anyway, it's a game. And Gris, there was a proud family that parodied The Matrix, but for illegally downloading music. Proud Family episode. Proud Family episode that parodied The Matrix, but for illegally downloading music. I don't understand. But then again, I don't understand because I'm not a very smart doggo. And now here we have Nathan's head. Nathan's head. Nathan's head. Yeah. It's his head looking downwards. Well, if his head is facing downwards, he's actually looking anywhere. Maybe his head is too big though. Maybe it needs to be a touch smaller. Like this. Like so. Ah, look at that. Such a small head for such a small tiger dude. Tiger friend. Of course, I just kind of did bounding boxes willy-nilly, but they should, in theory, have been following some sort of proportion. But I was not patient enough to look for said proportion, so they are willy-nilly and they will remain willy-nilly. Hope you guys don't mind. Bone says he wouldn't steal a bear. Well, speak for yourself. And hashtag stop all the downloading. Gris, Kid Morpheus speaks to Penny Proud, showed her a way to download music for free. She told everyone else music companies didn't like it, she'd get in trouble. Parents grounded her but understood her reasons. She learned her lesson, broke up with Kid Morpheus. And Gris, Kid Morpheus was called Mega in the episode. Huh. So it's an actual an actual thing. I mean, by actual thing I mean is Proud Family a animated show, like a cartoon or something? Or is it a live action show? Because from the episode synopsis, it's hard to say. Bones, animated. Oh. Phew, that's bad. Because Pondering and Wondering and young Morpheus, but in live action, is kind of terrifying. When you try to think of the unthinkable, you truly will know of the cosmic nightmares. Such is the way of Lovecraftian literature and Proud Family. But anyway, here we are done with Nathan's sketch. I'm not gonna bother putting in the rest of the things, like the hands, the face, and the clothing, because now I'm gonna do the their characters. Except here, I might go and change some things. It's hard to say. Just see. But don't you feel like this bounty box here is a touch too long? Like, sure, it feels like he's leaning backwards, but there's only so much you can lean before you're lying down completely, and that did not look like somebody lying down. It looked like somebody being super stretchy and super bendy and elasticy, which is not how it should go and how it should be. Here we go. Where does this go to though? So one thing, just going out on a tangent here, one thing I really enjoyed lately about doing backgrounds is that when you're doing backgrounds using perspectives, trying to match these lines here of the perspectives with other lines in other places and other things, feels like a puzzle, and that makes it super fun. Because if you think of perspective as solving a puzzle rather than trying to imagine this complicated and intricate building, you're just gonna get miserable in the end. So it's much easier to simply go and imagine it as a Simply go and imagine it as a puzzle that needs solving, and then you solve the puzzle, and then you get all of the coins, the money, the tickets. You get all the good things. But only and only if you imagine this as a puzzle. But anyway, you guys, as awesome as it was being here with you guys, I'm super duper afraid that it's close to being time for us to say our farewells and goodbyes or bad byes. Because it's near 1 in the afternoon, which is the time I normally go and have lunch. Because if I don't, starvation is certainly close by. And since that's not a thing I long for, I'm going to be having lunch. But before I go, I'd like to know how you guys doing, every single one of you. Lovely piperinos and pipettes. Awesome, beautiful boys and girls and non-gender binary people. I really hope you guys enjoyed this stream. Because I sure as heck did. We now have a lot of new hashtags to troll on Twitter. Lots of them, truly. And not only that, actually maybe this should be further ahead. Now we have a lot of new hashtags to throw in on Twitter. And other than that, we also have lots of new and cool and exciting things going on. I started this stream kinda not super sure on how I was gonna be doing this sketch, because I've been feeling kinda out of it when sketching on computer, but somehow it worked out and I was able to complete the sketch. Well, not complete the sketch, but I was able to do something. Unlike yesterday when I tried and couldn't conjure up anything. So, which is good news, which means, well, this is Tuesday and this page is supposed to go up on Patreon by Friday. And since we have been able to work on this page so early in the week, maybe we can go and do more pages. Do another and more pages. Which is good because we then create a buffer of pages, ready pages, so I can chill out for a bit and work on side projects, such as commissions, which is a thing I have to get back to working on. But anyway, this is awesome, and I was afraid I was not gonna be able to do it, but I was. And I want to thank you guys for being here and providing the moral support that I needed in this moment. And 104, thanks for streaming and hungry. Yes, I am. Luckily, I have a gigantic burger waiting for me in the fridge. So I'm really gonna enjoy myself eating that. And Nipter, you're fine. That's awesome to know. But not only you're fine, but I would expect that it's like extremely late for you over there. Or extremely early. One or the other. But anyway, I hope you're doing good as well. But as for me, I feel like I am afraid it's time for us to say goodbye. So, without further ado, thank you guys and girls and non-gender binary people so very much for being here today. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I'll be back here tomorrow at the same time, doing more or less the same thing, and hopefully not dressing the same clothes. Hopefully by then I will have taken a shower. And other than that, I hope you guys have a lovely day and takes lots of rest. And then every one of you who have bad things going on, I hope it gets better by tomorrow. But now, before we truly go, I want to point you out to some lovely piperinos and pipettes out there, other streamers who may be doing cool things and who certainly could use the shout out. They're awesome and you guys should be watching them. Let me take a look, a quick fast look at other streamers who are there doing fun things. One of them is my boy Spiker. He's playing some For Honor. I don't know if you guys are up for that, but he's pretty awesome, pretty entertaining, and I'm sure you guys are gonna like him. Other than that, my name was Douglas, and I did page 1, well, did the sketch for page 1 of my new comic, Call Me Yours, part 1, which you will be able to read in a few weeks, maybe a couple of months, in many sites out there, and you can find these sites down below in the video descriptions. Oh, in the many little panels down below. Anyway, thank you also for being here. Marcus, you're welcome, buddy, and bye to you too, Nipter. I'll be seeing you later, guys. Bye bye, and stay awesome.
Particularly masochist and decided to learn how to play with mouse and keyboard. Not a great idea so far. I actually would like to give that a try, to be honest.
Good job, man.
Becker, I've given up on not getting that Kensei teabag emote. Totally buying it tonight. Spam. I thought you'd like to know. There you go. Join the dark side, Molly. Just join the dark side. There's only one side to this, and it's the dark side. Also, Douglas, again with the raid, man. Thank you very much. That is much appreciated. How are you, man? Ah, fuck this dude. I'm so done with... No, I'm dead. I'm dead.
I'm probably gonna struggle on A because everybody's gonna go A.
Yeah. How was your stream, man?
Unglaublich.
You lost zone A.
Yeah, the Lawbringer is at A.
Alright, I'm going A because I'm super good at fighting Lawbringers because I know their entire moveset. Oh, here's an Orochi, which I'm even better at fighting. Oh, yeah, there's my friendos. Yeah, I'm dead.
Yeah, no thank you.
Someone is talking in German.
I'm no legend, I'm dog. Douglas, don't you know like someone who does, I don't know, 3D models or something? And you could model like your Dogo into face rig, man, and then you could literally be the Dogo. How badass would that be?
Oh, what
McBrill TV, but what you do is legendary. That's directed to hang on, oh shit. To Douglas, I hope. How many fucking hits does this motherfucker take? Oh, more than I can.
Okay, you got it. Nice.
Yeah,
I'm coming on with your Shinobi.
Oh shit, what was that? Oh, fuck.
God,
died
fuck
like
it.
a purple.
It's just battle of the friggin' Lawbringers
What
here.
the? Okay, never mind.
There we go, finally.
Yeah, we might be kind of.
Is it dog or god? It is both. Pretty fun. Worked on a new comic book page. It's looking up real good. Nice. Nice, man.
Who the fuck interrupting me?
Okay, I'm gonna get B again because apparently I'm always the tosser that's here trying to play the objective. But sometimes it actually wins the game for us.
Oh, interesting. Shit, those lawbringers.
I
Oh,
know.
Jesus. No. What the? Yeah, I didn't even see what happened there.
They're teaching us the law.
And I don't know anybody who does 3D things that do the whole thing for me for free. Yeah, for free it's gonna be hard, I guess.
I could really use some kills or something like.
Nice.
Because then I'm so close to getting my
Somebody
blue
is
thing.
coming to see, and
I'm just eating this one. Hang on. Yeah. Should I get A?
you should.
Okay, I'm gonna try to run there then. Hang on. Gotta get